started a playlist and I started calling it the Dennis videos. So that's what we're going to call these. We're going to call these Dennis videos. Anytime I decide to make content and I'm going to talk about my ex-husband Dennis, we'll just call them Dennis videos. In this video, I want to discuss geography. Dennis and I literally live across the highway from one another. We have for, I want to say, over 20 years. It's been a long time. Dennis and Kayla live on one side of the highway. Jimmy, our youngest daughter, and myself live on the opposite side of the highway, literally within minutes of each other. And I can tell you that separation between the highway has been a life of two very different worlds, a family clearly divided. On Dennis's side of the highway, it was all about parental alienation, trying to convince Kayla on a daily basis that we did not want her as a part of the family, that she was not welcomed, that I was a mean, vicious, horrible, abusive person, that I was just constantly abusing Kayla day in and day out, which couldn't have been further from the truth. So then you have Jimmy, our youngest, and myself on the other side of the highway. A life very, very different. We have always, from day one, encouraged a healthy, positive relationship between Alyssa and Kayla. Kayla has always been welcomed in our home. You have Dennis and Kayla. Dennis on that side of the highway, it was all about parental alienation. It was all about teaching Kayla that I was an abusive, horrible mother, that I was mean and violent and I didn't care about her, that I did not love her, that we did not want to include her as part of the family. It was parental alienation at its finest. It was abuse constantly with her. And yes, I can sit here and say, I've got messages to prove this, I can prove that. Well, you know what? I have all that, but nobody is interested in seeing any of that. They are just interested in listening to the rantings of Dennis. I have said in a video previously, I think Dennis has just some magic superpower that I don't know about, because he is able to convince people of the most horrible things about me, about my husband, Jimmy, and it's just, yeah, I don't really get it. But anyway, then you have us on the other side of the highway, and we are teaching love, positivity. We are teaching about the Bible. You know, we are a family that prays together, and a family that prays together stays together. I do believe that. And, you know, we are encouraging the girls to get along and have relationships, all this positivity. But it's been really hard when you have Dennis on the opposite side of the highway going in the other direction. Kayla's entire life, she was brought up to think that I was just a monster that didn't love her and that did not want to include her in my new family. And that could not have been further from the truth. The reason why we chose to buy the house that we did directly across the highway from Dennis and Caleb was so that we could be close, so that we could get along if possible. And I believe that it's possible. I always want to believe that it's possible. But we moved so close to Kayla so we could, you know, not have to disrupt her life in a way that it was already disrupted. And we taught love. And Dennis, you taught hate. Dennis taught hate against us. And Kayla's life was full of suicide attempts. Not everything goes according to plan. And coming from a self-proclaimed control freak, I'm very much aware that I cannot control everything. However, it does come down to how we handle those situations that don't go exactly as we have planned them. And I never planned for my daughter to not be here. I didn't. I believed that as I became more successful, that I would be able to help my daughter more. But I don't think people understand the power of parental alienation.